Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Mr. Rowe. We're looking at Algebra 2A, Lesson 4. We're going to focus on number 9 for just a minute. It seems to be a lot of people are missing this problem. I want to try to help you figure out what you're doing here. So let's take a look at what we're doing here. So here is a similar example. And you notice the difference between this and everything else in the lesson is that it has this cube root index right here. So that's a cube root. So a cube root, unlike a square root, means that you got to multiply something 3 times to get that value. So what can I multiply 3 times to get that value? Well, if you're not sure, you're welcome to pull up your calculator. And if you have a TI-84, it is perfectly great for figuring out cube roots because it has a cube root function. So it was the cube root of 27. So if I hit this math button right here, take a look at option 4. Option 4 will find a cube root for me. So if I type in 27, and I hit enter, it's going to tell me the cube root of 27, which is 3. So that's great. So now I know that the cube root of 27 is 3. But I'm pretty positive, and again, if I'm not sure, I'm going to check, that 135 doesn't have a perfect cube. So let's try that one out. It's not a perfect cube. I can't put a decimal. This lesson is about simplifying radicals. So I'm going to simplify this radical. So I noticed that it's 135. So let's divide 135 by 5 just to see what we get. Look, we get 27. So what does that mean? That means that I can break this down to the cube root of 27 times 5. Now, just like a perfect square, I have a perfect cube. So I can take that perfect cube out of the radical. So the cube root of 27, we already figured that out. It was 3. So my final answer here will be 3 plus 3. And then what's left? The cube root of 5. That is what your answer needs to look like, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to do one more real quick. Bigger numbers, a little bit bigger numbers. I've got the cube root of 216, the cube root of 864. If you don't know what the cube root is, try to figure it out. So let's see if we can figure out what the cube root, and again, it's math, option 4. And then we're going to put in 216 and see if it has a cube root. Look at that, it's 6. So I know the cube root of 216 is 6. And then we have 864. Well, let's see if 864 is a perfect cube. Not a perfect cube. We got to figure out what we can divide by. Well, I notice it ends in a 4, so let's divide by 4 and see what we get. What's 864 divided by 4? Look at that, it's 216. So this will break down into the cube root of 216 times 4. Now again, we've got a perfect cube, 216. So my final answer here will be 6 plus, take the cube root of 216, which is 6. And then what's left? The cube root of 4. 4 does not have a perfect cube, so we can't simplify it anymore. And that is what the final answer should look like. So I hope this helps with number 9. If you're confused, please set up an appointment for a help session, or at least send a teacher message.